Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another UHC Highlights. Now, for this highlights, it's a little bit different. You might notice by the thumbnail, that's different. And believe it or not, this is the first highlights I am putting up that I recorded in my latest phase of recording. So the last phase of recording I went through, there was still black bars on it, and I was still using D3D gear. Now I'm using something different, and well, I have been using it for a while. You'll have seen in my other videos, but this is the first UHC highlights that is affected by it. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. So I thought, just as a kind of, you know, chillaxed highlights, I guess, I'm just going to talk a bit about my UHC highlights, my UHC things like that. Not so much the PvP or how I do or moments or things like that, just the highlights in general, the logistics of video making. And in the background's a game, which is kind of boring, but I know there was some interesting moments in it, but we'll get to those, or well, we won't get to those. You can see them and enjoy them, and if you want to watch them. If not, just feel free to listen to my voice. So yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is there in the title. Why do I play on Eximius, or Eximius as I tend to call it? And there's a number of reasons for this. First of all, I cannot easily win on other servers, and I can't easily win on Eximius, but the point is I can win on Eximius. So, okay, it's got the feel-good factor, and I know for some people they'll find Eximius too easy and it won't be a challenge for them, and it'll just be a waste of time. That's fair enough, but I play on it because, you know, I've got a chance of winning. I've got a chance of meeting people who are as good as me. There's well, when I say occasionally, I'm sure there's quite often people better than me that I end up like cleaning up or something like that. But you know, you can meet people of all abilities, not just people who are like far better than you. And second reason is it's a chill server. Well, I guess the different types of people you meet, that's kind of the second reason. But another reason is it's a chill server, I find. There's some nasty comments on it, but I find that there's easily more on Reddit and Badline and all those sorts of servers, purely because there's more people. Whereas on Eximius, you know, not everyone knows everyone, but it's almost like that. I'm sure a lot of people know a lot of people, and you know, it has more of a family feel, which I really like. I'm sure people will disagree and say Eximius is full of complete twits or whatever, but I honestly, there's been a few people that have said things that have not been very nice, but I mean, you know, you're going to get that everywhere, so, and you just need to take it in good faith. I admit I've not been the best at reacting to that, but I do my best to act in good grace, and I will try and improve as I go forward. I also like Eximius because, and now this kind of, okay, I admit this turns ultra hardcore into ultra softcore. I completely understand that, but I love caving, and obviously on other servers you've got to be wary while you're caving because someone might be digging down on you. That's very unlikely on Eximius. So I admit this is a bad reason. This is you know, an ultra softcore reason, but I like the caving in that. Branch mining's allowed. Now, I'm not a fan of branch mining. In fact, I've actually tried to stop doing it in games lately, but it's there just in case I need it, and I guess that's an ultra softcore reason as well. I think there are ways Eximius could be improved, and a lot of those suggestions that I have got in my head that I want to make have been made by other people and have either been rejected or put off for a time. But hopefully, as time goes by, the server will be improved. There's also a variety of game modes on Eximius, and games are hosted like 24/7 as long as there's like 5 people or 5 teams in a game. So, or wait, no, 5 people or 3 teams. There we go. Got that one wrong, but managed to redeem myself. So 24/7 hosting is pretty good. You can just hop on and hopefully there's a game, although there's certain peak times and certain down times, but I mean that's to be expected because people have to work and sleep. So why don't I play on other servers? Well, I guess I'll just touch on this briefly. So what other servers do we have? We've got Twitter. I don't play on Twitter simply because I don't have Twitter. Now I know that's not a reason. I know I could play on Twitter even if I didn't have Twitter, but it helps to have Twitter because you can see when the games are up. You know, you'll get a notification or something like that. And the fact I don't have Twitter means I can't get these notifications, and so whenever I check the Twitter UHC page, one will have come up, say, 5 hours ago and I'll have missed it, or 2 hours ago or I'll have missed it, or even worse, like 10 minutes ago and I'll have missed it. So, you know, Twitter I've basically given up on. What else is there? Hypixel. I have been playing a bit of Hypixel lately, and I've been thinking, you know, if I could maybe rank up and get some better kits than that, then that's fine. But I see, I think it would only work if I had like 2 other dedicated people I could team with constantly, and we could like help move each other up in that. And there's a lot of OP stuff, and I'm not a big fan of just the way Hypixel's run with like the OP kits and the whole donator system and that. So I don't know. I probably won't do that much Hypixel, maybe just if I feel like it once in a while. We've got Badline. I don't play Badline partly because it's too hard. I'm not even like, I think there's more chance man will get to Mars next year than for me to win a Badline UHC game. I'm nowhere near skilled enough to win one of those. Also, I believe Badline is just as USC Ultra Softcore as people claim Eximius is. Someone once said, "Oh, we're not having a 10-minute heal like Eximius," and it's like, wait, hold on, Eximius doesn't have a heal at all. It's Badline that's got the 10-minute heal. So I mean, I'm not a fan of that. I once fell in a ravine, took 9 hearts, and then got healed back to full health 10 minutes later. I don't see that as good, you know, UHC in my eyes. But I mean, obviously there's no natural regeneration, so it technically is. And also you get a ton of starter food, which is whatever. I mean, each to their own. Not going to talk it down. It's a good PvP server. I'm sure that and the UHCs are very popular, so hope it goes well for them. But just personally, it's not my taste. Although I probably will play once in a while if I feel like it. What else have we got? We've got Mindplex. I've not seen a Mindplex game on in ages, so I don't think anyone will be playing that anytime soon. And finally Reddit. Reddit was where I started, and Reddit will possibly be where I finish. I still play Reddit. I enjoy them. I've to date won 3 Reddit games. Well, I know that I've won 3 Reddit games for sure. I might have won more, but I don't know because I left TeamSpeak before I could find out. So yeah, that's fine. That's good and well. I'll play Reddit once in a while. More likely, I'll probably have more moments from Reddit than highlights, because a highlights needs to be either an entertaining teams game or an FFA where I have a lot of like close encounters or something like that, and that's very unlikely. So yeah, expect to see more Reddit moments than highlights. So that's what I think of other servers and what I play in them. But once again, I do not judge anyone if they come from Twitter, Mindplex, Badline, Eximius, Reddit, wherever. I'm not judgmental. Each to their own. People can play wherever they want. So now I'm going to move on to highlight style. Now, I'm aware a lot of people stick with the traditional, you know, put music, sync, caving to music, and then have the fights with music, and I do those as well. But I am trying to incorporate a lot more styles of highlights, like this one for example, me talking and the highlights playing in the background. I won't be doing this one like that often, maybe once in a while if I have to talk about something like I do now. But other types I try to vary. I like to have, if I've got a team game, I like to keep the commentary because sometimes it can be entertaining. If it's an FFA, I'll maybe speed it up, or I'll sync it to music, or do some editing and all that. I can do a lot more now because I can now actually use my not Windows Live Movie Maker, what's it called? Not Vegas Pro, Movie Studio, that's it. I've been using Movie Studio for everything but UHC Highlights, because the UHC Highlights footage was like not compatible with it, so I had to keep using Movie Maker for that. But I can now fully move on to Movie Studio. So I'm going to try and do different sorts of highlights, like different styles. And for the content of the highlights, I don't believe that a player has to get like say 30 kills and win the game with full diamond and all that to make an entertaining highlights. I believe that highlights can be made by someone playing Eximius. You know, Eximius games can be fun. You know, if you're in good company and you know there's entertaining PvE and then a good deathmatch, why not make a highlights? That's, you know, what is a highlights? There's no proper definition of highlights in my opinion. Each to their own. So you might see some highlights where you're thinking, you know, James, why have you uploaded that? But probably the reason I've uploaded it is because it was an interesting game. It was a game I wanted to remember, bearing in mind my slogan that I try to keep to is memories of a gamer. So I want to upload things I want to remember. So some highlights might seem a bit strange, you know, why have I uploaded this? But reason is I want it as a diary reference, for want of a better expression. So just be aware, some of them, the highlights will be exciting, some of them you might think, why did I upload that? But I'll try and at least make it interesting, keep the interesting bits in of those highlights that you might think are a strange choice. We're going to move on to music now. So first of all, I don't use music in team games. Why? Because I can't be flipped looking for it. Looking for music is one of the most stressful things I have to do whenever I make videos, and especially when I do montages and that. So if I can avoid putting music in, I will. No objection. I will make an objection if you want, but I probably won't listen to it. I'm aware music can enhance the video, but I personally, you know, I don't do this for money, I don't do this for views or whatever, I just do it for fun. So, you know, I'm going to not use music in the videos I don't want to use music in. Other than that, in the videos that I'm going to use music in, I think I'm going to use some old stuff. So I think it was about highlights number like 35 or something like that, where I started trying to sync to music, and I started using music. So I think I'm going to go back and use some of the music I used back then, because I've gone back and worked some of my highlights, and I've looked at the music and thought, you know, I could sync it this way, or I could edit it this way, or do this or that, and I think I want to try that. And maybe some old music that I use for montages, which I know is probably oversaturated now. Tons of people probably use it, but I, you know, whatever. Who cares? No two people can edit a video alike. So now we'll move on to and I should also add, with the music side of things, I do get the music legit. So if it's free download, great. If I have to pay for it, then so be it. I don't have a problem with that, because I feel that, you know, the artist has gone to the trouble to make the music, so he or she should at least get paid for it if that's what they want. So yeah, I do try to avoid paying, but if I have to, I don't mind. Alright, let's move on to amount of highlights. And also I should say, I'm not going to judge anyone that illegally downloads, because tons of people do, and I'm not saying it's right, but who am I to go and point the finger? Anyway, so the amount of highlights I've actually saved up around 52, maybe to 60 clips, or not clips, but like games. Now, more than half of them are like really average, like games that people would not be interested in watching. I keep them anyway, just because you never know if I run out of highlights, or if I need something to throw up, I'll just, you know, put something like that up. Some of them are, you know, really exciting and I think would make good videos, so I kind of have them in a folder off to the side. It's like, you know, high priority, good games, etc, etc. So I've got a lot of UHC content for probably the rest of the year. As for moments, you know, I've got equally a good amount of those. I should say that some of the games that I might post in, say, 6 months time, or, you know, a year maybe, if I'm still doing it in a year, might come from back at this time or even before, just because of the way I save up highlights. Indeed, games that have gone out recently, some of them were recorded almost 6 months ago. So, you know, if you think about it, we're, you know, what is it, March roughly 2016. You know, this stuff would have been recorded back, could have been recorded back in October, September of 2015. So, you know, I'm not afraid to save up highlights and put them out whenever. So just a warning for that, some of the games will be very old. And also, I point on my UHC Moments series. I think I'm going to start using that as a, well, I guess I kind of have started using it as a kill highlights. I don't really get, you know, I can't really do a kill highlights because I don't like get enough kills to do that. But what I'm trying to say is some moments will just be a meetup from a Flower Power, for example, because Flower Power highlights are boring, face it. So I'm probably just going to upload like the meetup of the Flower Power, and that will be the moment. So it'll be kill highlights, but it'll be a moment. It won't be like one moment that's, you know, amazing. It'll just be, you know, kill highlights. So that's what I mean when I say kill highlights. And also like meetups of Sonics, maybe. I can't remember what ones I got saved up, but it'll be mainly Flower Power meetups that I'll upload as moments. So yeah, and I don't put music to moments because once again I can't be bothered looking for it, and I don't want to like use too much music and then have nothing for later. Finally, I've kind of touched on this, but just to, as a closing word, why do I make highlights? Well, because I enjoy it. That's why. Also, I just want to get better at general video editing. I want to try and improve my editing techniques. I think I've improved a lot. Even back when I was using Movie Maker and making like montages which aren't really that good, you know, I was still learning back then, you know, cutting and trimming and things like that's exactly the same thing. Cutting and copying and moving things about and linking clips. I even back then I was learning all that stuff, and now I'm trying out different editing techniques, and I'm using different styles of music, and I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm still trying to improve. To what end, I actually don't know. And also just because I want to, you know, look back on some UHC games, because UHC is my favourite PvP in Minecraft. Indeed, it was my favourite PvP in Minecraft even before I knew how to play it. So I want to remember it, and because other people enjoy it. At least I think other people enjoy it. But we shall see. So, thank you for watching this highlights. Sorry if the footage was boring, but hey, that's one highlights at the way that's boring, so you won't have to watch that one again. And yeah, I'll see you next time.